Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Could be morning, who knows? We never know what time it is in Australia. When our Australian viewers are watching, it could be any time of day. We're very glad to have you with us here on American Hammers TV, a part of the American Hammers Network. We have a very special guest today. You know him, you remember him. He made 121 appearances for West Ham in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Julien Faubert is with us. We want to get right to him. Before we do, there are a couple of things I need to tell you about. Um, First of all, as you know, this is a labor of love for us at American Hammers TV. So, if you want to help support us financially a little bit, go to our shop, ahtv.threadless.com. Threadless, like without threads, and there's all kinds of cool stuff you can buy there. Here we go. Here's Irish Tommy checking in. Very nice to see you, Tommy. Uh, there's all kinds of great West Ham stuff. You can buy American Hammers TV stuff. You can buy things from your local supporters group wherever you are in the world, really. You can buy things that are just West Ham. ahtv.threadless.com. It helps us out a lot. Also, this is my own personal thing. Um, I've been raising some money for. Thank you. It's, you know what? I can't help it. It's just the way it is. Thank you, Jim. I've been raising some money for a youth team in the Gambia. My young friend Ensa is 16 years old. He lives in the Gambia. It's one of the poorest countries in the world, and he has started a West Ham youth club. And they need everything. They don't have anything. They have no shirts. They have no balls. They have nothing. So we've raised about $1,200 for them, and we've sent them boots. We've sent them balls. We've sent them uh, equipment for training, and I'm now trying to get some money so they can get some kits. They played their first two games last weekend. The under 15s won, I think, 1-0, and the under 7s won 2-0, and they played a club that's much better funded and much better established than they are. And they played under the banner of West Ham United, even though they don't have West Ham United kits yet. That's one of the things that we're trying to get is some claret and blue for them. Anyway, so if you have a little extra money lying around and you could help Ensa, here is the GoFundMe link. I just putting it in our chat window here. He's a great kid. He's a fantastic kid. He loves West Ham. I talk to him probably 2 or 3 times a week now. And anyway, I'm really proud of him. So we're trying to help them. Anyway, all of that aside, let's get to our guest of honor, Julien Faubert. Bonjour, ça va?
Ça va, merci. Good evening. Good afternoon,
Good
good
evening.
morning, I don't know.
I promise. Julien, everybody here knows that I lived in France for a few years. I lived in Paris for a few years. And I'm famous for saying PSG instead of PSG and things like that. So people get tired of hearing me speak French and speak with a French accent. So we'll do everything in English. But anyway, I wanted to first of all say commiserations to you. I know you played many matches for Bordeaux, and I know Bordeaux were relegated this season. My club in France is Saint Etienne. We were also relegated this season. So we'll have 2 huge French clubs down in League Two, and I'm very sad about it. But hopefully they both come back up in the season to come. Yeah. Do you follow Bordeaux? Are you a fan still?
Yeah, of course. I have 2 clubs in my heart. It's West Ham and Bordeaux in France, and I felt sad, but I think it was from many years now. They was struggling with the relegation, and now I think it may be the time to clean up everything and come back stronger and better. But yeah, it's difficult to hear that, but it's football. If you don't do things properly, like recruitment, like everything go wrong. So it's football, but I hope they will come back stronger.
I hope so too. I would love for Saint Etienne and Bordeaux, and even Metz, for instance. Metz, a long-standing French club, for all 3 to come back up. But we'll see what happens. Long way to go until then.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your time at West Ham. So you came from you're from Le Havre, which is in the north of France. Yes.
Yeah.
But you played down in Bordeaux for quite a long time. Beautiful city, wonderful club, great colors. I love the purple. What was your reaction when you got a call to come join West Ham to play in the Premier League?
I was excited because it was my dream to play in Premier League. Was my dream to play in England. first of all for the atmosphere, for the fans, and I was at this moment I was talking with Glasgow Rangers, and
Okay.
when we received the call, we step up from the table, we go out, we went out, and my agent at the moment said to me, we have a Premier League club. It was West Ham, and I knew West Ham from the movie, like
Green
not
Street.
really. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes. You
And
and a lot of American fans know West Ham from Green Street. That's a popular
yeah,
movie here. Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
that's why. And I played football for this kind of atmosphere,
right.
and when I heard West Ham Premier League London, I don't hesitate. I'd hesitate like what, half second, and then we went to discuss with the lawyer of the club, and the things go really quick.
Now, when you got to West Ham, did the atmosphere match what you thought it would be? Was
Totally,
it as
totally.
yeah, yeah, yeah?
Yeah, totally. It was crazy. It was like, and I didn't felt really at the start because I was injured,
Yes.
but after that I went to the stadium when I was injured and I heard the fans, the song, the everything, and I was really exciting to start. But yeah, it totally matched with the idea I had, and I felt really excited to start at home.
Now um you only played a few games that first season.
Mhm.
Now I'm trying to remember. Were you injured prior to the season? Was that what happened?
On a
I think
preseason, yeah,
in
on the
preseason.
yeah
Yes.
on the preseason after 20 minutes in a friendly game, uh,
Yes.
I snapped my Achilles, and I was like 8 months out,
That's
and
right.
it was really difficult because I wanted to show what I can do. I wanted to show exactly as well. I mean, they give the money back of the club because they pay me a lot of money, and
Right. Right.
yeah, I was a little bit sad at the moment, but the club was really kind with me. The fans as well. They gave me the time to come back, and yeah, it was a difficult time, harsh time for me.
What were the other players like? I'm always wondering because we've had Jack Collison on with us. I know you know Jack.
Hmm.
You played with Jack. He also had a long-term injury, and then of course he had to retire because of
Hmm.
injury. And I often wonder. We ask him the same thing. So when you come into a club, you're injured early, you have a long period out. How much contact do you have with the other players? Do you see them every day, or are they doing something off on their own while you're recovering?
I was on rehab in France, so
Okay.
when
So
I
you weren't
when
in London at all. Yeah,
no, I wasn't. But the club always invited me to come to the home game, so I could have contact with my teammate. I had contact before in the preseason before I was injured, so I was really close to certain of player like Carlton Cole, Mark Noble,
mm,
Lucas Neal was our captain at this
yes,
time.
yes.
So they was really kind with me. They was, oh, Julien, you come back when you come back when you come back. So the atmosphere was really good, and I felt like at home. I felt like we was a family. So it was kind of easy to deal with the time, and yes, I think that's why I still I mean I still a hammer for life, because what I felt and what I lived at this time, and the support I had from the club and from the fans, from my teammates was crazy. And I never felt that in the other place I was.
Interesting. So not even in Bordeaux, where there's a passionate group of fans in Bordeaux. It's a great French football city. It wasn't the same.
No, no. I felt something special for Bordeaux because I started my career over there. I learned the professional my job over there. But the French mentality, I'm French, but I don't match with the French mentality, because it's, especially in football, it was different, because
Yeah,
you can give many years in the same club in France, and they sack you like nothing. And
yeah,
even when
yeah,
I left the club, I came back in an Olympic Stadium with my son, and my son was like, I mean, he arrived in London. He was 1 years old. We come back. He was 11, and he said to me, "Daddy, it look like you never left." and yeah, that's the feeling, and that's why I love the English mentality, or even in America, because they have something special, and they remember what you gave for the club.
And I want to get to some of these questions too that we have in the chat room before we move on, because I want to make sure that we get. Uh, did you did you import cheese and white bread? Well, okay, actually, you know what? This is not a bad question, all right? Because I lived in France, and we all know about the French cuisine. Bordeaux is in a wonderful part of the country that's right on the edge of the Southwest, where you have the wonderful, wine and cheeses and meats and so forth. Then you get to England, and it's like, I hope you like curry. What was the lifestyle adjustment like for you?
It was a little bit of it was strange for me, because not for the food, because I ate good in England. Not like in France, but I ate good in England. But the problem was at 7 p.m. the night came, and
Yes.
it was really difficult in winter for my family to adapt themselves to this, because and the weather as well. But to be honest, after what, 3 months, 5 months, it was easier, and you don't care about the weather, you care about the people. And I arrived in England, I didn't spoke any English.
I was wondering about that. So
Yeah.
you spoke no English at the time.
No, nothing at all. Just what we learn in French. Hi, Brian is in the kitchen. Where is Brian? That's it. And,
Right.
yeah, and but what surprised me, it's the time of the people who gave me the time to learn. When I arrive in some shop, they say, okay, listen, take your time, explain with your word. We will try to understand. And you lived in France, and French people, they aren't like this. They just say, you came to some shops and say, do you speak English? No, we don't speak English, we just speak French. And
Right.
they don't make any efforts. And that's why I appreciate as well my time in England, because they take the time to they give me the time to learn, and they try to understand me. That was good.
And I know you played with Guy Demel
Yeah.
at West End. Who else was in the team at the time who spoke French? I know there were some other francophones.
When I arrived, there are no French players, so
Okay.
only Luis Boamorte, Portuguese guy
Right.
who speak French as well. He helped me a lot, but
Okay.
I didn't take any lessons. I had the ability to listen and learn like this. And after that, we had Frederick Piquion, we had Guy Demel, we had
Yes.
Erita
Piquion, who came from Saint Etienne. Piquion was from Saint Etienne.
Exactly.
Yes.
We had Erita Lunga as well, who came from Saint Etienne. So
Ilunga, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So we had more French player after, and that's why they have problem to learn English, because we speak more French in the changing room than English. But yeah, it was is I didn't have the choice to speak English, so I tried to learn, and I learned after 4 or 5 months. I was not fluid English, but I was easy to speak English, and my kids helped me as well, because I learned. I watch many cartoons, and and,
That's
and
what
this,
you do. That's what
yeah,
you do.
yeah,
I watched a lot of French TV. Yeah, when
yeah,
I lived there. Same idea. And
exactly,
then one day I turned it on and I understood everything.
yeah,
It was just
exactly,
like it sort of happened like that.
exactly.
Um, now you mentioned. I want to get back to another question from Luke here. You
Mhm.
mentioned that you were and with Rangers when you signed for West Ham. Were there other clubs you were talking to as well?
Yeah, I had AS Roma in Italy,
Okay, good
but
club. Yep.
yeah, but they didn't put enough money for Bordeaux. Glasgow Rangers, I was like ready to sign, and
Yeah.
we was on the table with the Rangers people, and at this moment we received the phone call from London. But
Wow.
I was ready to sign for Rangers. Everything was settled, the contract, the money, everything was ready, and we received a phone call at this time, and we changed our mind. But yeah, I had like different club, even in Spain. but my dream was to play in Premier League in England. So
That's
I didn't.
fantastic. I love that.
Yeah.
And remind me, I want to say that was Gianfranco Zola manager when you came in?
No, it was Alan Kirbishley.
It was Kerbishley still. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So you played under Kerbishley. You played, let's see, you played under Kerbishley, Zola. Oh, I guess Avram Grant, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then Allardyce in
Yeah,
the championship season.
yeah.
Um, oh, you were at West Ham during a time of real turmoil for the club.
Hmm.
The club almost went into administration, almost went bankrupt. I think while you were there, Gold, Sullivan, and Brady bought the club. The
Yeah.
Icelandic owners, their economy collapsed.
Hmm.
Gold, Sullivan, and Brady bought the club. Kerbishley left. I always liked Alan Kerbishley. Actually, you know what? What did you think of Alan Kerbishley? Nobody ever talks about him. I kind of liked him. Was he a good manager to you?
He was good manager. I can't say anything about him because he wanted me like a lot, and I was really sad when he left because I didn't have the time to give him back what they give it to me. So he was a great manager. Just at this time, just he signed me. I was injured, so I became injured. I think he signed Freddie Ljungberg for a
He
lot of
did.
money, injured
Yeah.
as well.
Injured as
So
well. Yes.
so big injury. No, he didn't have the luck at this time, and the board make a decision. But he was a great manager. He was a good manager.
What was what was it like when Gianfranco Zola came in? I always felt as though he was a manager who wanted to play really beautiful football,
Hmm.
but he didn't have necessarily the team to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a more traditional English team set up a little more defensively, and he
Mhm.
wanted to play attacking football. And I think it was sometimes beautiful to watch, but we conceded a lot of goals in
Yeah.
those days. What was
Yeah.
your thoughts on Zola?
He was he was a good manager, but the problem is it's this because he like when he was in Chelsea as a player, he liked great football, and that's
Yes.
true. We didn't have the team to play that kind of football, and then he had a great assistant coach, Steve Clark, and I love him.
Yes. Yes.
I learned a lot from him. Like tactically, he was a tactical mind, and explained to me many things, many movements. And but the problem is, it's yes, we didn't have the team. We learned that really pretty bad, and yeah, we conceded a lot of goals because when you play attacking football, you have to be in a half pitch of the opponent, and the problem
Yes.
is it's you leave a lot of space behind, and we didn't have the center back quick,
Yeah.
and that was the problem. But yeah, he was a great manager, close to us, and really understanding, and he was a proper manager, but sometimes
Jack
things didn't work.
Collison. Jack Collison told a story, and I don't. Maybe you'll remember this of Zola hitting some sort of fantastic shot in training, and then all the players looked at him and said, "We can't do that." You know?
To be honest, he trained in a small side of game. He trained with us, and he had some skills like crazy. He moved quicker than some players. Technically, he was incredible. I mean, if we joke with him and we said, Gaffa, if you do like a proper preseason, you can still play with us. But he was a. I mean, we can understand the level he had when he was playing because he still had some skills when he trained with us.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask you too about. We're going to get to the Millwall game in a minute because I know West Ham and Millwall, they don't play very often, and it's a huge rivalry, as you know. But I wanted to ask you about just the atmosphere around the club at the time, because you had the departure of Kerbishley, the arrival of Zola. You had the club in big financial trouble, a lot of nervousness over one summer as to whether we would even stay in the Premier League or be relegated due to financial problems. How did that affect the players? What was it like for you at that time?
Yeah, I mean, when the things happened with the Iceland man, was Iceland chairman yeah, everybody panic. I mean, even the people who work for the club, the fans, everybody was panicking because because at this time the situation was really crazy. And but to be honest, the new chairman came and came with some calm and everything, because they put a lot of money at this time.
Right.
And yeah, we was struggling a little bit mentally, and after we came back, because we had some settled things from the new chairman, and we had a meeting, and he said, okay, guys, I'm here, I'm a West Ham fan from years, and I will try to I will help the club to stay in the Premier League. So at this time we had a little bit some relaxing time, but yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult for many clubs anyway.
So West Ham fans, I think most West Ham fans famously do not like David Sullivan, David Gold, and Karen Brady. There's a lot of opposition to them. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll admit to being one of them, and I think most people who watch our channel are on the same, think the same way, and you see it on Twitter as well. I mean, given that they've been at the club now for 12 years, I think, what do you think of them in general?
I didn't have many contacts with Sullivan or Gold, but I had more contact with I don't remember her name. That's why.
Oh, with Karen Brady.
Karen Brady,
Yeah,
not the best one, to be honest.
yeah. I wouldn't think so. She seems difficult to me, to be honest. Yeah.
She tried to exist in a men's world, and that's good for her. But
yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, that's good for her. She know what she's doing, but the problem is she forgets we all humans, and we all have some hearts, and something. I had a good big crash with her, sorry, and like in a Abraham Grant time, I had a crash as well with him. So they tried.
Oh, you mean you had a conflict with him? You had a conflict.
Yeah, I had a conflict with her and with Abraham Grant.
What happened with her? I mean, I'm just curious because I to be honest, Julien, I'm with you. I respect her for being a woman who's trying to do something in a world dominated by men. I respect that a lot. However, I feel as though as a person she'd be very difficult to deal with. Do you remember what it was that caused your rift?
Yeah, because I had some problem with Abraham Grant. I still have some problem with him because I didn't like him and didn't think he was a great.
You are not alone. You are not alone.
Yeah. And that's why we went down with him, because it was a big mistake to put him on charge, but not because I didn't play it. It's just because the way he managed the team wasn't good, and I had an argument with him, and that he said, I need to explain the whole story. I think it's
sure. Go ahead. So that's why we're here.
We had a home game. I wasn't in the team, so I was at home. He texted me, said, okay, a player is maybe injured, so you need to come back in Upton Park and change yourself and try start the warm up. So I came back. I came from Essex to the club and to the stadium. I changed myself, train, and after 10 minutes, he said to me, "Okay, the guy is okay. You get the guy is okay, so you won't be the part of the team." I said, "Okay, can I go home because my ex-wife, she was at the hospital ready to deliver." So,
wow.
So he said, "Yeah, Julien, you can go back, no problem, because it's a good time for you, so you have to go back." So I was on the motorway in center London with the traffic, and I received another phone call, say, "Julien, he's injured. So I made a mistake. He's injured. You need to come back." I said, "Gaffer, I'm in the traffic. Even if I try to come back, it will take me 3 hours."
Yeah.
And he said, "Okay, no problem, Julien. You can go to the hospital." But at the end after the game, he called Karen Brady and said Julien refused to play.
Oh.
So and Karen Brady, as she done before, she called the son and say Julien refused to play. So what I did, I called the son as well, and I explained as now I explained the whole story, and I say I didn't make any mistake. That's not if I could play, I didn't play for many games. I will play. So that's the problem we had. She said to the son, we will find him 1 week wages and everything. So, but I called the son, explained my part of the story, and after she called me and said, okay, we won't find you, blah 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 blah. But
We won't find you,
no, we won't find
but
you.
they were going to find
They
you.
was going to find me 1 week because she think I was refusing to play, but it wasn't the whole story. So uh it was that's why she tried to, I think she tried to be on my head and made me,
Yeah.
because I was in difficult time at this time, and try to push me to make mistakes, but I didn't make any mistake. So it was a stupid story, but I'm happy the fans understood the story, and don't think
Did the,
I
did
was
the
a mistake.
son did the son print your side of the story? Did the son tell your side of the story?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah. The story was out. The story was out, and when I saw the son, and my agent say, "Oh, Julian, what happened?" And I called back the guy in the sun and explained the story.
Now, there was a game against Millwall in the League Cup, and it would have been early in the season, I believe, in 2009,
Hmm.
2009, 2010. So it was in August, I think, early round League Cup, and I I think we won 3-1. It went into extra time,
At
and
home.
at home, yes, it went into extra time.
Yeah.
And I think Zevon Hines scored a penalty. Was it Zevon Hines? I can't remember, but anyway,
Hmm.
feel pretty certain you played in that game. Yes, I think you did. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And didn't you set up one of the goals too?
If it's the game I remember, it's maybe the one who I hit the goalkeeper.
Perhaps.
It,
Yeah.
it wasn't this. I don't remember, because we played twice against Millwall. One in
Right.
championship with Alan Kirbishley,
Yes.
with Sam Allardyce,
With Allardyce.
and
Yes.
yeah, I think
Well,
in
this
one
would this would
where
have been in the this would have been in the League Cup at home. So it would
yeah,
have been the season before.
okay, so yeah, where
Yeah.
where, where they broke the where they broke the chair in the stadium, and they tried
They
to kill me.
rioted. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes. The
remember.
fans were all over the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that experience? Had you ever experienced anything like that before in your career up to that point?
Um, Maybe in Turkey, because Turkey they was crazy,
But Turkey
but
was later, right? Turkey
yeah, it
was,
was later.
yeah,
Was later.
yeah.
But at this stage of my career, never. But that's the both game was the best game in my life. And the last one was the one in Wembley. But this one, when I hit the keeper and everything, the atmosphere and things go good, like went good for us. But it
Yeah.
was a great, like we knew. I know the rivalry of the both fans, and it was crazy. It was crazy.
Was it? I I mean, there's a lot of pictures of this online, so I'll pull some of these up and just kind of put them on the screen. Well, that one's kind of small, but let me make it larger, put it on the screen. Was this scary to you at all? I mean, I know you were a footballer your whole life, but
Mhm.
was it scary to have like during the match these pitch invasions and so forth?
No, no. For
No.
me, no. I play football for this kind of atmosphere. I play football. I like when the atmosphere is electric. I like when it wasn't. It was more scary for my family at the stadium, because they was at the stadium
Yeah.
and they saw everything.
Yeah.
My kids
Yeah.
as well. But for me, not at all. Not at all.
So you liked it?
I mean, football is not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be to see
Right.
people bleeding and everything. But
Right.
I like I like electric atmosphere. That's why I went in Turkey. That's why I like this. I like this. Yeah.
And to be fair, you don't. He said, Tommy says you went from watching Green Street to witnessing it firsthand. A lot of truth to that, actually. I mean, and to be fair, you really don't get that in France very often, unless you
No.
get like a PSG Marseille or something like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Or Saint Etienne had caused some problems. Their fans caused some problems
Yeah.
toward the end of the season and then after the playoff loss to Auxerre. But in France, it's generally a calmer atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
So uh, you had the Zola season when We stayed up on I think it was 35 points.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this though, I the only game I have the only West Ham game I've ever seen in person was at the Boleyn. It was in February of 2010, and it was against Birmingham City. And you had a fantastic cross for Carlton Cole for the second goal.
Yeah.
It was you and Valom Berami, I think, were kind of
Yeah.
linking up on the right wing,
Yeah.
and you crossed for Carlton for the second goal. So I will always have a memory of you at against Birmingham City at home. It was a cold night. It was snowing. It was flurries of snow that night. It was
Snowing.
cold.
Yeah, I remember this game.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
Alessandro Diamante hit a free kick right at the stroke of
Yeah.
halftime
Yeah.
for us. Yep. Um, what was you talked about? You talked about playing for Zola. What was we had somebody ask up earlier? What was Scott Parker like? I'm a huge fan of Scott Parker. I really started to watch West Ham in a serious way around the time he came to the club, and he was so important, to us in those years. What was it like to play for him? And would you like to see him as West Ham manager someday?
Yeah. 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 I like Scott Parker as a man first because he was really close to me as well. He was we talked a lot. We talked about many things in life, but as a man, he was a great man. As a captain, because he became captain sometimes, he was great as well. Great player. He not a cheater. When he was on the pitch, that's the mentality we had at this time. We gave everything on the pitch. We fight. He put the head when some players will put the feet. So yeah, he was crazy,
I
but
love that. That's fantastic. That's great. I love
yeah,
that.
great,
Yeah.
great player, and yeah, he had the fiber to become manager, and I'm not surprised he became a manager. So yeah, to see him one day managing West Ham will be really good and really nice. Uh, yeah, I think will be really good as well. But I passed my coaching badges as well, so I will.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you later on what you're up to now, but
yeah.
one thing I wanted to make sure we asked about, because you can't talk about Julien Faubert without talking about Real Madrid. And I have to say, I mean, because not many players go right from West Ham to Real Madrid. It's
No.
really, really unusual. Declan
Yeah.
Rice may do it, right? Declan Rice may do it. I hope not. But um, you went to Real. You played 2 games in Spain. What? Tell me the story of how you ended up at Real Madrid, because everybody was just kind of like, "How did this happen?" Not that you didn't deserve it, but it just is unusual. That's all. It just doesn't
Yeah,
happen very often.
it's quite simple because at this time the manager was Juan de Ramos.
Yes.
It was the manager of Tottenham. So
Yes.
they're searching for a quick right wing, and their first choice was Valencia. This time who play for Wigan, and then the transfer was over because he went to Man United, and I was the second choice because he saw me on the Premier League. He saw me when I play with the under 21 against England for the Europe qualification under 21, and he saw me many times. He said, "Okay, that's the profile of player I wanted," and they contact me. I was on my way to. I remember I was on my way to an away game in Fulham. I received a phone call. I was on the couch. I was a coach. I received a phone call
Right.
and from a French guy who said, "Yeah, I'm working for Real Madrid. I'm French, but I'm working for Real Madrid." I said, "Listen, I have a game to play, so I don't have time for this." I switch off my phone. We play the game. We won the game. I will switch on my phone after the game, and I had 40 text message, 12, 12, 12 voicemail, and my agent said to me, "Julien, call me back, call me back, call me back." I call him back. He said, "Okay, I'm in Heathrow at the moment, talking with Real Madrid people, and you have to come. You have to come as quick as possible because you may be gonna go there." And we start to talk with them. So they talk with West Ham, and then they pay 1 million, and I went to Madrid. That was that simple.
I mean, so from Fulham to the Bernabeu in like 24 hours, or something like
Yeah,
that. Now, Luke knows more about this story than I do. He wants to know if he wanted to slap Di Stefano. I don't know the history there, so I'll let you address that if you want to.
No, no, I don't know where this come from, but no. I was, Di Stefano is a legend of Madrid, but he's a legend of football as well. So
Of course.
it's the kind of, I don't know, do you say in English, but coutume, like
Yeah.
when you sign for Madrid, he give you the shirt. That's the things of Madrid, and to be close of a football legend like this, it was a good memory for me.
Now you played 2 games at Real.
Mhm.
It didn't seem easy for you there. Was it a difficult place to play? Did you like it?
I like it because I learned what is the top football level of football in the world. Like you are the biggest club in the world
Yeah.
with crazy player. Uh, the level of the training, the level of the facility, the level of everything is it's
Different from
just
West Ham, right? Different from West Ham.
it's different. It's different, yeah. But
Yeah, yeah,
it's crazy, and I can compare this to the French national team when I was in French national team. The
yes,
level, the rhythm, the tempo of the game, it's just crazy. And it wasn't easy because I didn't have my chance, but I learned a lot. I learned from the player who won everything because I
yeah.
at this time was Cannavaro who just won the Ballon d'Or. They won 3, 4 Champions League,
Right,
but
right.
even if in a small side of game of training, they wanted to win again. So I learned the winning
Yeah,
mentality over there,
yeah.
and it was crazy. It was crazy.
It was intense. It was très intense, right? It was very sort of competitive all the time.
Hmm. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, you
Now,
you can't come to training and you can't accept to lose even a small game. You have to win. You want to win, and that's the mentality of Real Madrid.
interesting. Did you really fall asleep on the bench at Real Madrid?
No, no, it was
This is
it
a
was
legend. It's a legend that has gone
I
around,
know,
right? The story
I
that's gone
know,
around. Yeah.
I know,
But
but
I
it
have to
was
ask you. I have to ask you. You understand?
yeah, you have to, and I can explain myself as well because in this kind of club, you have a camera on the pitch, but you have as well 90 minutes and plus camera only on the bench,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they like to make stories and everything. They like to make stupid stories. And what I
Mm-hmm.
did at this time, it's I didn't play a lot. I felt I won't came in,
Yeah.
so I just like poof like this 10 seconds, like close my eyes, do this, close my eyes, like okay, Julian, calm down. And at this time,
Right.
they just took a picture and they said I fell asleep just to make stories. And at this time, I talked with the chairman of the press and the news, and he said, Julian, in this club, you have to be careful about everything you did,
Yeah.
everything you can do. You have to be careful.
How bad was the Spanish press just in general? They seem vicious to me in Spain. Are
Yeah,
they as bad as in England? Do you think?
it's exactly the same. They
Yeah.
try to make stories. Jack, if you, for example, if you argue with the player 10 seconds, they will make a big story like they fight, they hate each other
Mm,
and everything. That
hmm.
there's yeah, they're vicious. And but that's the game when you play in a big club like this. It's you need to be careful when you talk. For example, you have to talk with the hands like this because you have a guy who just try to describe what you try to
Mm.
say. So you have to be
It's got
careful.
to be intense pressure, right? And I mean, you always being watched at all times. So
Yeah,
yeah. You see American football coaches, they talk like
yeah,
this because there's cameras on them at all times, right?
yeah. But
So
that's
it's the
that's
same for
more.
you. Yeah.
I'm an NFL fan, so that I'm an
Oh,
NFL
good.
like crazy,
Which
crazy,
which which is
crazy.
your favorite team?
The Ravens, Baltimore.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I
because
respect that.
I'm a big huge fan of Ray Lewis, so that's why.
All right. That's
Yeah,
good to know. I did not
yeah,
know that. You come back on
yeah,
sometime. We'll talk about American football. We'll talk. We'll start another. We'll have a
yeah,
different channel altogether because I grew up. I grew up in Texas. I'm a big football fan as well. So,
yeah.
um, But no, so were you disappointed by how things finished at Real? Was it everything you thought it would be? Did you get out of it what you wanted to?
No, not really. I felt before, like months before, I won't stay in Real Madrid, and that was normal. I was honest with myself. Didn't play, didn't show what I could do,
Mm.
but I learned a lot, and I was ready to come back in West Ham and to help the team and play more than I played the season before. So no, I was okay with that.
So you came back, and I'm a little bit out of order here because you went to Real in 2009.
Mm.
You came back to West Ham in 2009, 2010, and that was the Zola season,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that was the season we stayed up on 35 points, and but I played some really nice football, actually, some
Yeah,
lovely football.
yeah.
Just didn't always get results. The next season was the disaster. Avram Grant. I mean, what did the players think when you heard Avram Grant was coming in? I mean, the man was like, in English we say he was like death warmed over. He was like a corpse with who could move. That was how I always thought of him. Everybody hated him. All the West
Yeah,
Ham fans hated him. What did the
yeah.
players think of him?
We didn't understand. We didn't understand, and I knew from friends who was under him. Um, for example, what he did in Chelsea, he didn't do anything. He didn't do
Right.
anything. The
You don't
players
have
did.
you don't have to at Chelsea because they had
Yeah,
hundreds of millions of pounds worth of players, right? So
exactly.
yeah,
And you have the the real guy who can manage the team without manager. So he didn't do
right.
anything. And when you arrive in West Ham, I didn't understand, but I said, okay, you know what? Let's try to see what he can do. But the first training, the first everything, he didn't. To be honest, I never saw that in my life. He was the manager, but he just came out from his office for 10 minutes in training and go back and didn't talk anything, didn't
Mm,
speak. The assistant coach make all the session, and he just came and look outside, okay, and go back. So
yeah.
he
So
was
no involvement at all.
no,
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no. He feel like we felt like sometimes he didn't care about if we lose the game, won the game. I didn't understand.
I mean, to be honest, it showed in the performances. I mean, you all had to know this, right? As players, you had to know that it was that you sort of lacked inspiration because that's how it looked for much of the season.
Exactly. We made it. We play like it was a disaster. We didn't have. I mean, West Ham. When you play for West Ham and you are on a pitch, you need to play with your heart. And at this time, I didn't play. I played the season before. I played 35 games, and
Yes,
and this season I played like 4 games. So I
right. You
didn't.
didn't play. He didn't. He didn't. Did he not like you? You said you had a conflict with him. I mean, why didn't you play that season? I think we could have used you.
Yeah, yeah.
Might have been a better team
I
if you'd been
know.
in it.
I know exactly the reason. I can't talk about the reason, but I know the reason.
Okay,
And if I can say, he was extra football. It was extra football, and
gotcha.
yeah,
So
it
not
was
not a footballing reason. It was outside of
exactly. It
the
was
realm of
extra, and the thing is, he tried to push me out of my limits to make me some foul and maybe be fined by the club or sacked by the club. I didn't,
yeah,
because I
yeah,
wanted to stay at the club. That's why
yeah.
I did after we was relegated. But yeah, as for proper football, he wasn't a good coach. That's it.
Well, let's talk about happier things. Relegation was a disaster, but then you had the wonderful season in the championship, which I will
Mhm.
always cherish as probably. I mean, one of my favorite seasons, oddly enough, as a West Ham fan, and my favorite moment as a West Ham fan was the playoff final.
Yeah.
Um, so after relegation, you had not played much. Allardyce comes in. What were your thoughts? Were you sure you were staying with West Ham, or were you looking to go to another Premier League club, or what were you thinking?
No, I still it's still today the same thing. I had a special relationship with the fans, with West Ham fans.
Yes.
And I saw, when you see like growing men, dad, women crying because you've been relegated, and in my head, I wanted to stay, and I wanted to play in Championship because it's still the best second division in the world.
Yes.
And
Well, it's maybe I mean, let's be honest, it's maybe the 5th or 6th best league in Europe, right?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
after the top 4, maybe like Portugal and Holland, you have,
exactly. So I felt like I need to help the team to come back in Championship and in Premier League. Sorry. And when I spoke my first meeting with Sam, he loved French player first, and
really,
and
okay,
he talked to me like as a dad, and he said, Julien, you will be the one of the key of my team. You will help us. I can help you to improve your game and everything, like physically and everything. And when I went out the office, my feeling was I can break my neck for him. So let's go. And
interesting.
it was good, like relationship with player, and we
Yeah.
had a great season, funny season, and harsh season. But we was like the atmosphere of the team was crazy. We want to fight for each other. We want to fight for the Gaffer, and it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jack Collison? Jack is kind of a friend of ours, and we've had him on a couple of times, as I mentioned,
Mhm.
and we've had a couple of other players on from your era. Um, but Jack in particular talked about how Allardyce would be very specific in training, and he would say, "Okay, here's what you did wrong in the last match. Here's what you have to correct." What was it like to play for him?
Um, Sam work a lot with statistics.
Hmm.
So we spend hours and hours on videos, hours and hours on statistics. He made already the plan every 3 months. Say if we here on running, if we here on speed, if we here on points, we're gonna be in a good way to go up in Premier League. So he was really precising on the things he did. So yeah, he makes some individual video. Said, Julien, look, you run in this way, you have to run in this way. You defend like this, you have to defend like this. And I didn't thought this about him, but we think it's just a clown and everything. But no. Sam is really precise on things, and I think that's why we went up, because he never left things on the side. And yeah, it was. I learned a lot from him, a lot, and I was physically on my top, so it was good.
Interesting. Tell me about the playoff final. You came in, played about the last half an hour.
Mhm.
What was? I mean, to me, and I wasn't there. I watched it on television, from here. But it just the atmosphere, the pressure. That was a tremendous football match. What was it like to live through it and have to watch the first 60 minutes,
Yeah.
before you got in? You must have been itching to go in.
I can't stay in my chair, to be honest. It was really like, because when you love the club like I do now,
Yeah.
I really love West Ham, and I will be until I will die. And to know what it is to go back in Premier League for the fans, for the people who work for the club, um, for you are in London at home. If you have many scenario on your head, you think like, if we lose, wow, what's gonna happen if we lose?
Yeah.
So we can't lose, and it was crazy on the side. And when the gaffer called me, said, Julien, you're gonna go in and you're gonna put some aggressivity and everything. To be honest, my opponent, I wanted to hit him, like just for the people who watching us. And it's,
Right.
for me, I thought like, guy, today you're not gonna score, you're not gonna run, you're not gonna touch the ball, because that's how home we want to go back in Premier League, and you're not gonna do anything. And when Vaste score, I mean, I still talking with my kids about this, like the stadium, the explosion of the stadium, and the feeling like everything was crazy. The time when he scored, the pressure, everything went out, and yeah, it was wow. Even when I talk now, I still feeling the atmosphere at this time, and when you see the people jumping and everything, was crazy. It was crazy.
Did you know the story of Paul Ince and his son? His son who scored for Blackpool in that game. Did you know who Paul Ince was? And
Yeah, of course, I know
okay,
Paul.
so everybody knew about that then.
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
of course, of
Okay,
course.
so
And,
that was probably a motivating factor too.
yeah, and when when the guy equalized, was like, yeah, okay, let's go again. But we couldn't win this game. We couldn't win this game. It was impossible.
So you moved back between right wing, right back, and your time at West Ham. Which one did you? Where were you more comfortable? Which one did you prefer?
I don't have any preference. I can like I mean the side of the pitch was my home. I can play up, I can play down, I can defend, I can attack. I didn't prefer anything. I liked because I was a former defender,
Mm-hmm.
so I like to defend. I like contact. I like challenges, but I like to score. I like to cross. So I don't have any preference. I like to play on the side. That's my own. That's my only thing. I like to participate of the game.
What do you think about Vladimir Tufal and Ben Johnson, who are kind of our right backs for the present and the future? What are your thoughts on them?
I love Glenn Johnson when he was playing.
Oh, I mean Ben Johnson, the current right back.
Ben Johnson, yeah. I think the fullback I love. It's the fullback who participate of the game, like the modern fullback who can go like up and down, up and down, up and down. So and that's the quality we have now. And I think the West Ham now, it's we see what we do on Europa League and everything. So we strong, but we still have this identity of fighting, and that will be forever in West Ham. You need to understand when you sign for the Claret and Blue, you have to fight, and the fans will always be behind you if you give 110% of the pitch. You can miss the pass, you can miss a goal, but if you fight, you will be always supporting, and that's the spirit. They still have the spirit. I saw some games, like crazy games of Europa League, and I felt like, yeah, I could play in this team. Still could play in this team.
Who were the players you were closest to in your time at West Ham? I know that there were, Guy Demel was there with you, who was a francophone player, and there were a couple of other, as you mentioned, Piquion and I can't remember another French player you mentioned whose name.
Erita Ilunga.
Yeah, Ilunga, exactly. Erita Ilunga.
Yeah.
Who were the guys you knew the best in your time?
It will be crazy, but I stay with francophone for sure. But I spend a lot of time with Carlton Cole.
Yes.
Because
okay, will you get him to come on our show, please? Because I have wanted to interview Carlton Cole since we started doing this 3.5 years ago. So Scott Parker and Carlton Cole were two of my favorite players. All right, from that era. Scott Parker's busy, I get that. Yeah. But Carlton Cole can come on. He can come on. So
yeah, anyway. I will try because we're still talking to each other, to be honest.
And, good. Okay,
because we are in the same generation. We play against each other in under 21 for the qualification. And when I arrived in West Ham, we was really close, like really, really close with Anton Ferdinand as well.
Yes.
That was the type of guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the type of guy that was really close. We're still talking to each other. Jack Collison as well. Mark Noble, Lucas Neal. I mean, it was a real. I mean, I didn't felt what you can feel when you arrive in France in a new club. It's like jealousy. I didn't felt any jealousy. I arrived in a club straight away. Lucas Neal came and said, "If you need anything, mates, say to me. I will help you." Carlton Cole said, "Julien, I will help you in London because I'm a London guy. I will help you. It's a great big city, so I will help you." So I didn't felt any jealousy, and that's why I my limitation, like when I arrived, it was easy for me because they helped me a lot. So I was close to them, and I was close as well to Freddie Picon, Erita Nunga, and one of my closest friend in the team was Luis Boamorte. This guy is just the creme de la creme, and he was a great guy, really really helping me like a grand like a dad, like a I don't know. And we're still talking to each other, and I'm happy what he did now in coaching. Yeah.
And he spoke French as well. He was Portuguese, but he
spoke
French as well.
He spoke a perfect French. Perfect French.
Interesting. So he must have learned it as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you? What do you think about David Moyes? While we're on the current subject of the current team.
It's for me, it's still a big name in Premier League. Big name. It's he's got a great match with the spirit of West Ham because I don't know. I can't see at the moment. Maybe it will change with after years, but I can't see a non-English manager managing West Ham. That was like like Tottenham.
Well, or non-British anyway, because more
British,
Scotland, but right, I mean, culturally, it's
like for example, I need like a Portuguese guy, or I can't see at the moment another like non-British manager.
I mean, you had Zola, but he played in England for a long time.
Exactly.
He played with Chelsea, so he knew English football.
Yeah, it's different. So maybe because the fans are maybe not open to this, or the players you have maybe I don't know. I can't see that, but yeah, it's a great manager. I think he make you can see by the results, he make a great job, and he give another level to the West to the club. So I'm happy about the Europe. He fight for UEFA like for the Champions League and everything. They fight for this, and it's you can't imagine the pleasure I can because my kids like the top four of the club, the top four of the Premier League, and now I can like this season I can say look West Ham the where they are, look West Ham the where they played, and they can fight with the top four of the Premier League. So yeah, I can give it to him. This it's the he worked hard to put to step up of the club.
How old are your kids?
16 and 11.
Oh, very good. I have an 11-year-old as well.
Yeah.
My boys are 11 and 8, and my 8-year-old is still playing football. He likes to play keeper and play in defense. So my 11-year-old quit to do karate. He likes karate better.
Okay.
So I know you had a lot of career after West Ham, and you went to Turkey, and you went back to Bordeaux, and then I think you last played 3 seasons ago on Fréjus. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's is that the CFA, or is that the which
level? Yeah, it's a CFA. It's a National 2, and I'm still working for the club because now I'm assistant coach of the first team. And
I was just going to ask what you were doing today. So that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assistant coach of the first. I was assistant coach of the first team. I have as well the under 17, now under 18, and I pass all my coaching badges in France. So the next one will be the big one. I will be in Clairefontaine, so where the national team work.
Yes, of course. Yes,
I will go there to work my badges 1 year, and I like what I do now. I like what I do.
So you are the assistant coach for the first team, and then so you all are in. Is it the fourth tier, National?
Yeah,
it's the fourth because there's
League 1, League 2, League 1, League 2, National 2. Yeah, so the fourth one.
I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember. Yeah. And that's where is I don't know where that is. Where is Fréjus Saint-Raphael? Where is it located?
Half an hour from Cannes, so south France, south.
Ah, so you live in the south. Okay.
Yeah, 1 hour from Marseille. Yeah.
Okay, so not up north anymore where you're from.
No, it's really sunny. 300 day a year. You have sun, so it's really good.
That's what I remember. I've been to the South and I've been to the North, and the South is
Yeah.
sunnier and, and nicer, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit better atmosphere. So, would you like to? I mean, you're only, well, I think, in your late 30s. Is that right? Something like that. Um, so your ambition is to be a manager.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I want to be a manager. I want to. I think that's my thing. Before I stopped, before I retired, I have the sensibility. I felt like I wanted to do this. I passed my first badges, and then now I still doing the big one, and yeah, I felt like it's my thing. It's my thing to give what I learn as well as a professional player, but what I learn as well through many managers that I had, and I have my sensibility of football as well, and yeah, I wanted to share this, and if I can one day come back in the highest level of football, I will.
How
I
about
hope.
at West Ham?
Why not? Why not? Why not? I love this club, and it will be. Um, in French, we say close the circle. So start
Yes,
at
yes,
Ham as a player and close the circle
yes.
as a manager. Why not? But
I,
I need to work before.
one more thing, if you have a few more minutes. I know we've been on it for an hour, and I appreciate your time.
Mhm,
Um, so you left West Ham after promotion.
mhm.
What did your contract? Um, what did you what were your thoughts at that time? Did you want to stay? What happened there?
I wanted to stay, and to be honest, I wanted to finish my career at West Ham. But we didn't find an agreement.
Mm.
They proposed me something, three more years,
Hmm.
and I didn't accept at this time. And for me, um, with the maturity I have now, and it was a mistake for myself. I assume that, and it was completely stupid because
Well,
no, no, I
we
don't
all have
regret.
to make decisions at a certain time, you know.
Yeah, I don't regret anything. I assume everything. Every choice I made in my life, I assume everything. But the thing is, with the maturity I have now, uh, I should accept the offer, and I should stay playing for West Ham, because it's not for me. It wasn't about money. It was like I felt at home. Um, I made a great season, 42 games on 45 or something like that.
Mhm.
And I wanted to go back playing Premier League, but I had some stupid agent and everything would talk to me like about money and everything. So
You're not
I
the
was,
first, and you weren't the last. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, well, it was my mistake, but it's life. It's life. It was my destiny. Maybe I shouldn't stay at this time, but yeah, if I could go back, I will accept and finish my career at West Ham for sure.
Just curious, briefly, how did you like playing in Turkey? It seems absolutely insane.
It's crazy.
I mean,
It's
crazy, crazy. Is it
yeah,
anything like England? Is it as crazy as England? Is it crazier?
it's crazier. It's crazier
Yeah.
because, and when you are at the stadium, they have like a ritual. Like you start the warm up, and they call each player front of the fans, and they scream, and you do like you 1, 2, 3, and they scream at the three times, and the feeling, it's crazy when you have uh like 30,000 people who scream your name, like when you do this 3 times, it's crazy. But the sound, I played in Besiktas,
Hmm.
and when they score, I made this because the sound was amazing, they crazy. And I have one story. It's we won in one stadium. We have to get back to the airport with the military truck, because they was waiting for us through things and everything.
And
So
this is when you were with, how do you pronounce it? Elias
Elazığspor.
Elias Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
don't do very. So that was when you were at Elias and
yeah,
you had to
yeah.
be
Wait,
escorted. Yeah.
yeah. We was in the away game, and we had to be escorted by the military and everything. So it was, yeah. The atmosphere is just unbelievable, like crazy. I played football to have goosebumps. So I was for sure I had goosebumps at this time.
How do you think? What do you think of France's chances in the World Cup coming up in November? Unfortunately, it's going to happen in November in Qatar. I
Yeah.
wish it were happening in the summer somewhere else, but
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
They're still part of the favorites because they have big player. They still have big player. They have some young like the young player who came and have quality. So they have their chance, but it's gonna be a weird World Cup because it's gonna be in the winter and everything. So weird one, but
Yeah.
let's see what they're gonna do. But I they can go really far in World Cup for sure.
Do you watch England at all? Are you a little bit of an England fan since you played in England, or?
Not really. Not really.
That's fair.
No, not really. I'm a West Ham fan, and I play for the French national team, so I watch France. But
Of course.
since
And you had an appearance with the national team.
yeah,
At
I
least
scored.
one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
one and I
scored. Yes, you did. You
Yeah,
scored. I
first
remember
and
that.
yeah,
I remember that.
yeah.
Yes, it was against.
Mr. 100%.
Yes, that's right. And I'm trying to think. I remember watching the game, and I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
It was.
But
Who did you play? Who did you play?
Bosnia Herzegovina.
That's right. That's right.
Bosnia.
And they never. It was 2006.
Yeah.
So this was after the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, it was qualification. We was just before the qualification for the Euro.
Right.
I was called, came on, and I was called another time, but I wasn't on the team against Italy at home. But yeah, I was called twice, and yeah. But as like when I was 5 years old, I always support Brazil, but I love Brazil. So I don't know why, but I love Brazil. So
well, what's not to love? Beautiful
yeah,
football, right? Yeah,
yeah,
beautiful football. Absolutely.
yeah, exactly.
Well, listen, this has been fantastic. It's been so nice having you here. I know you've taken an hour with us. It's getting to be, well, it's 9:00 in France, so you're probably thinking about starting dinner pretty soon, I would think, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
True.
that was the hardest thing for me was when I lived there and I would eat at 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And then I came back to the US and people are eating at 5 o'clock
Yeah,
in the afternoon.
England is quite the same. So yeah,
Same idea. Yeah, same idea. Okay, one more question before we go, because Mark wants to. We all want to know. USA versus England. It's going to be the day after Thanksgiving here in the US in November. Who do you think wins that game? And you could give your honest opinion because I think England will win. So
England.
Yeah, I think so too. I kind of want England to win, but that's another story altogether. All right, please hang on for a minute after I stop the broadcast. I want to talk to you for half a second, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody that Mark is not happy with that. I know it is American Hammers TV, but let's see. We have to be kind of realistic here.
Yeah.
So I don't keep an eye out for more shows later this week. I know the season is over. We're not going to be doing as many shows, but Lucas and Kostya and Charlie Walsh and Alan Werzepa have brought their show back on Saturday afternoons, and I'm going to try to. I owe everybody one more show, wrapping up the season of this past season. I didn't do it last week, and I don't know if I can do it tomorrow or not. But we'll do one more before we go off on a summer break. But I wanted to say un grand merci, Julien Faubert. Fantastic player, a tremendous gentleman, and just answered every question I had. And I just really enjoyed this so much. It was just fantastic. And I really want to thank you.
Thank you. It was great.
And we always end our show by saying, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons, for sure. Of course.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys later.